Everybody, podcast time.
What's up?
It is Thanksgiving week. I love Thanksgiving. I got a hair on my hat. I love Thanksgiving. It is my favorite holiday of the year. You know why?
Food.
I love food. What else?
Family.
I love family.
Thanks.
Food, family, football.
It
It is Christmas without the overspending to try to make sure you spent enough so that you don't. How do you and Christy do that? You have like a spending limit and you're like, hey, don't spend over $50 because this is what I'm spending on you.
Yeah, we try to say like, hey, what are you getting me? And then it's like, okay, I'm getting you this. And then ultimately somebody breaks the rules. So
Yeah, I was going to say,
there's no, like it doesn't.
I'm the rule breaker. Me
Yeah.
and Maddie be like, okay, we're going to spend $100 on each other. And then she'll be like, there's no way you spend $100 on me. I'm like, don't worry about it.
I feel like the role is for the wife to play by the rules
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yeah.
And then the guy usually spends more money.
I think
on the
last year
woman.
around this time we talked about what you were getting for Christmas. You have a plan already?
I have no plan.
I've started.
I have not really even thought about it, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Maddie doesn't watch the podcast, so she won't know this, but I'm putting together like an advent calendar for her,
Nice.
like a personalized advent calendar for her.
Okay. And just like, instead of celebrating Jesus, you're celebrating Maddie.
No, we're celebrating Jesus, the walk down to the birth of Christ, but
Okay. But you have a gift for Maddie as you're walking this
maybe
out.
you don't know. You don't know what's in the personalized advent calendar.
Or it's like gift for you, like you're
Or
treating
maybe it's
yourself.
like a scripture verse she pulls out and reads it.
It's like,
Never know. Might be a prophetic word from, Isaiah.
That'd
Who
be
knows?
cool if you did something like that instead of like material things.
You could totally do that for Christy.
She'd be like, she might like it. I don't know.
What's your thoughts on this mustache thing?
I think it's here to stay.
I like it.
I think though, as soon as I hit a little like buffer,
Which is what?
Like-
What is a buffer?
like I hit some kind of like week long, I don't shave it, then I might just be like, don't want to cut
Man,
my
his beard looks so cool again.
yeah, or it's just like it's a lot to try to figure it out where it go, like lining it up and everything, which is hard anyways right now. So, I think it's here to stay.
I
think I don't know.
It feels like you.
I don't know. That might be a bad thing. I don't know. The beard has been my thing for 10 years.
Yeah.
And
Now
the
it's everybody's
mustaches-
thing. We need something new.
Yeah, and it feels good. It feels good to have the crisp, cool air touch your skin.
What do you think about this cool new succulents and candle leather, vintage leather?
It smells pretty good. I'm
Do
kinda
you
thrown off
remember
by it.
vintage
it's like we're
leather?
on a date or something with
Do
this.
you, do you remember vintage leather?
Um,
And us going to, I preached at a conference in Tennessee, and you went with me.
Yes.
And we went in a store, and it was boots, buy one get one free.
Or it was buy one get like 10
two
free.
It was buy one get two free.
Yeah, there you go.
So you got 3 pair of boots for the price of one.
But the one pair of boots was like
$300.
$300, which is still not bad if you're going there to get boots. But like if you're just walking in, just be like, oh, what do you got here today? It's like, nah, you can't do that. There's no way.
And you didn't officially ever get them.
Yeah, the fruits of the spirit were working that
We
day.
went 3 times to this store.
We did.
And we kept walking in and wandering around. And
That's how you know you're bored, though. You go to the same place, try
Yeah.
to figure out you want to do something. Nope, couldn't do it. Just there's this person of responsibility in my head.
you
saying,
preached last week in, I was going to say St. Louis, not St. Louis, in Illinois.
Yeah.
What'd you preach on?
I preached on Luke 19 with Zacchaeus
Mm-hmm.
and
Why you call him Zacchaeus?
Zacchaeus.
That's weird.
What would you call him?
I just sing the song.
Oh, I did at first. I did. I did sing a little bit at the beginning, but yeah. So I started in Luke 15 though, because it talks
Which
about
is what?
That's that's where we get if only for one here at the church.
Yeah.
Going out, leaving the 99, going to get the one.
Yep.
But the context is he was talking to he was like drawing near with the tax collectors and the sinners, and so then he tells this story.
Everyone's like, I can't believe you're hanging out with tax collectors and sinners.
Yeah, and so then as you're reading, I was focusing on 19, preparing for the story, but you hear that and it kind of perks your ears up because Zacchaeus was a tax collector.
Tax collector, yeah.
And so then you get to
He was a
Luke.
wee little man as well.
That's what they say. He's short.
Mm-hmm.
Short man had to get in the trees.
A wee little man was seen.
Climb up in the sycamore
Tree to see what he could see.
and
CC.
Yeah, see what he could see. Anyway, so in Luke 18, there's another parable Jesus tells about the tax collector and the Pharisee going into the synagogue, and the Pharisee's like beating his chest, saying, I fast twice a week, and I'm doing all these different things. And then the tax collector, it says he couldn't even like look up into the heavens,
Mm-hmm.
like he didn't even want to look up to God, and so he beats on his chest and says, "Lord, have mercy on me." And so it talks about how, that person, God looks at that person and says, "I will," that he favors that person. So then you get to 19, and it's almost like it unfolds. It's like everything that Jesus was talking about
He lives it out.
He lives it out.
Yeah.
That as he was telling the story in 15 and 18, he was thinking, I know Zacchaeus is going to be in this tree when I go into Jericho. I'm about to go out a day's journey to see him.
Yeah.
And I'm about to show you what it looks like to leave the crowds, leave the multitudes, and go chase after the one.
Come on.
There's a lot of different other things
Come
that
on.
you can go down that rabbit trail with, but
Feel good?
yeah, like it's one of those that you feel like will stay with you for a long time, something you can preach multiple times from different aspects. You could talk
Different
about
perspectives. I heard T.D. Jakes say that one time. You're like, he's like, first you go preach from, the
maid in the room.
And then he preached from like four different perspectives on the same story.
Yeah.
And
He's an art.
he's such an artist.
Yeah. It's amazing what he can do with a microphone.
So now you are doing a lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling. A lot of traveling.
What were you about to say?
Or like at least in the recent, like in October. Like this was the first time me and Christy were talking about my schedule. I've never been out of my residence, the place I stay, like I have this month, because I think I stayed like almost half the days this month out of my house. Like I think it was like 15 days I was out of town or something like that.
And for her, that's how she is in June, July-ish, something like that with youth camp. She's got like 6 weeks of youth camp this summer.
Right.
So a lot going on this summer.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of traveling, a lot of preaching engagements, different things of that nature, representing me in other places, growing, learning, conferences, things of that nature. A lot of stuff going on in Johnny's life.
Yes.
Are you in a season of, this is not Johnny's gift right now. So we're talking Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thankfulness isn't really like your strong suit.
Mm-mm. I lack perspective on those things.
Oh, man. I'm thankful for everything. I'm like, oh, God, thank you for this water. This water is so delicious. Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
I think I am. I know there's some things I take for granted for sure. I tell my kids that all the time. Like I know I get frustrated, at Caleb for his room not being clean, but yet I'm so and he's like, you should just be, he used to say this, he doesn't anymore, but you should just be thankful that I'm not out there partying or whatever,
right.
And you're like, yes, I am thankful for that, but I also would be thankful if you clean your room, so I know there's things in my life that I don't hit that number every time, but as an overall arching theme of my life, I am a very thankful person.
Yeah. I don't sit in thankfulness. I roll through it.
Wow.
So I'm more of like
it's like your son almost died. You're like, thank you, Lord. Now what?
Yeah, like let's roll into the next season. Like, what's the next season got to hold? Like, I don't know. Like when services are good. Like I was talking. I had a call with Dr. Walker this morning, and we were talking about the sermon I preached because we were kind of reviewing one of the sermons and kind of giving some critiques, and we talked about that baptism moment. And I was like, I don't even think like about that moment, that opportunity, the things that happened in that life. It's kind of like it was it was just a moment that, you're thankful in the moment that those people got baptized, but then you don't think about it anymore. And
so interesting.
It's almost like you just know there's a next thing. You got to look towards the next thing, and you can't afford to.
So right now,
there.
today, on this, we're recording this on a Wednesday afternoon. Right now, today, what are you thankful for in your life right now?
I am thankful for my wife, a healthy son. I'm thankful for my job and getting to do life where I'm at. And I'm thankful for God's grace and mercy in my
Come on,
life.
preacher.
No, I mean, I am, because I'm such a screw up. Like, I'm such a...
So your wife,
wife, healthy baby.
family,
Yeah, family,
your
job.
job, ministry,
Mm-hmm.
and God's grace.
Yeah.
Caleb, what are you thankful for right now in this season of your life?
Thankful for an amazing boss.
Yeah. Hoo.
The opportunity I've been gifted at the church.
Come on.
I am grateful for. I'm a grateful guy.
You are very thankful. He is very much a were you in my office with me the other day whenever he walked in and he was like oozing words of gratitude all over the place, and then he walked into another office and he was like, anybody in here need some affirmation? It's bubbling out of me right now.
I don't know how to take Caleb serious sometimes, because sometimes it's like, bro, you cannot be serious.
Same way.
You're
No way
you're thankful for. And he says, bro, I'm just thankful for you right now. And I'm just like, shut up and get out of here. But he's probably
like
like
Johnny Kilman in
there's a
my life that
90%
keep me
chance
going.
there's a 90% chance that he is being serious.
So your job, what else?
My wonderful girlfriend.
What else?
I am thankful for all of y'all watching right now, because you're the reason I have a job.
Good call.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Shout out
That-
Jeff Totten.
That just flickered. Did you see that?
I did.
You did it? It was an accident?
No, I did see it flicker.
You saw it flicker, it just wasn't you.
Mm.
It's interesting. Yeah, so I love...
What are you thankful for?
So many things, man. So many things. Like I said, Thanksgiving is something when we went to ministers meeting,
Mm-hmm.
and I had this moment with the Lord where I just felt so convicted of things in my life that I'm sitting in answered prayers, and yet I'm pushing through them to get to the next thing. And since then, I've just tried my best just to step back and have an extra dose of gratitude or thanksgiving in my life in this season. You know how, as frustrating as you are, and you are frustrating.
So frustrating.
You know how many times I've begged and pleaded with God for somebody like you?
Yeah.
You know, like as frustrating as Caleb is at times. You know how many times I've begged and pleaded with God to, please let my family want to serve you and love you. And man, now I'm living in those seasons. I'm literally in a room with two things that I've prayed for and asked God for.
Mm.
So I'm in a big season of Thanksgiving right now. A big like spiritual. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know the right words to say right now. But I'm very thankful for Maddie. I literally cannot do what I do without her in life. I'm talking about. Ministry, life, everything.
Yeah.
She is the rock of my life, and so thankful for her. So thankful for what God is doing inside of this church. It just blows me away. Just, multiple campuses and, the amount of people that are coming and things of that nature are all great. But on top of all of that, the stuff that is so foundational that he's doing, the unity that's here, the spirit of worship that's here, the heart for prayer and the deep things of God that's here. I was having breakfast with a retired minister this morning, and he said, Jamie, it's so strange to me. He said, how you can get 300 people to show up for prayer on a Monday night. And I was like, what's so strange? That we have incredible prayer nights because it's such a foundational thing. But if we're not careful, we overlook it and we go, man, I'm so frustrated that only 240 showed up this Monday night.
Right.
So I'm in a big season of Thanksgiving. Just very thankful for what God has done.
Yeah. I was in the plane. I was leaving Chicago or whatever, and I was like, you're 35,000 feet up. And I was like kind of smiling. I was like looking out the window. I was like, bro, it's Sunday night. You just got done preaching. You're flying back, with, Thomas.
With an armor bearer with
Thomas
you.
was in front of me. It was his first time flying. It was hilarious, and there's turbulence. I tried to coach him through it. I could have been a bad guy and just been like shaking his chair in front
We're
of him
going
and
down.
stuff. Yeah, right. I didn't do that. I let him do his thing. But just like, man, it's just so cool. Like, this is such a cool opportunity to just.
But the weird thing is, you go through these.
Yeah.
A week before that, you were going, "Oh, this is so miserable that I have to fly out again."
Well, I think stress will sometimes cloud your vision.
No doubt about it. That's a great conversation. Let's have it.
I mean, it's the good and the bad. It's like
let me repaint that just so that we can talk about it in this manner, because I think this is extremely beneficial to those watching.
Yeah.
In home, in life, whether it's bills, wife, whatever, in home stress can and will cloud your kingdom vision.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it that way.
I'll follow you.
I've been there. I've lived this out. Listen, I've been there where struggling to pay the bills in the house and struggling to, Maddie and I went through multiple seasons of struggling to pay the bills and, working 2 jobs and being a zombie trying to spend time with your family and your kids, and, then also knowing you have this kingdom responsibility over there, and then walking away from the family, for this responsibility, and then there being almost a argument at times of, why would you walk away and leave? What's happening here? We barely get you much anymore, and you're always here. And then you're like, yeah, but I'm doing this so that we can do the, and her not understanding the vision at the time and seeing where God was taking us to. And so there being internal struggles in the house that clouded, and there would be times where I would just go, you're right. I'm coming, and I'm, sitting down on the couch and hanging out and whatever else it was. I can't think of any specific moments, but just those in-home things that I thought, this feels right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it also is stopping me from getting where I know God's trying to take me.
Yeah, I think there are, like, even decisions that you have to make, like, inside of your house. Like, before we even, moved here, it was, man, this makes no sense for you to do this. Like,
which totally cool, easy making that decision when you don't have a kid.
Right. Yeah.
It's
like, this doesn't make any sense for you or whatever, but you just know it. This is just what feels right. Like, this is what you have to do. And so then when you're talking about, like, in-home stuff, like changes in seasons of life where you add a kid to your house and you're having to figure out, is it better for me to take my kid to, prayer, or do we put them on a schedule, or, having these conversations, and you're like, okay, the decision, like, for us, like, I don't, whatever decision you make is right for your family, but we knew that the church, I said before we had a kid, and I still stand behind it, is the local church is the center part of our life.
That's right.
It is what holds, it's ultimately Jesus Christ, but his bride holds us together, and everything that I do. My friends, even I'm have a special scenario where it's my job too, but, like, my whole life is centered around the church.
Before it was your job, your whole life was centered around the church.
Yeah,
right.
Around the church. And so when I had a kid, it wasn't going to change. Like, we were still going to do things as a family and operate the things that we do inside the church. And so,
but there have been times,
where
we've got a kid now. Do we really want to do the things that we've always done?
Yeah, right. And so you have to weigh those things of, okay, what do you find that are imperative? What are the things that are non-negotiables that we are going to do, and not use our kid as an excuse for not being a part of the church?
Because before you had a kid, that would be so frustrating to you.
Yeah, like, I felt cringy when Christy took the baby home when we were cleaning up for the concert.
Yeah,
I was like, no, we're staying here, and he can't even, like, open his eyes yet.
Yeah,
and I'm like, no, you're going up there and you're gonna mop the floor or something. Like, you're not leaving.
Yeah, and how many people inside of their marriages right now, husband, wife, doesn't matter, one side or the other, almost makes you feel guilty for doing kingdom things. And if you're not careful, you quench kingdom vision because of the stresses inside of the home.
Yeah, and I can't imagine for those of you out there who weren't this committed maybe as you find yourself now, and maybe you have a spouse who's still maybe working through some things or not finding their place yet inside the church, but you do. I can't imagine, having to deal with that. And even as you both are trying to maybe find a place, inside the church, it's awesome to be able to communicate and talk through some things and say, okay, what are you finding important now as your value has changed in the local church. So then you should also talk about, okay, now where do we find value even more, refine that even more inside the church. Monday night prayers, Wednesday night services, the 9 or the 11 a.m. service. Are we going to volunteer once a month? Are we going to volunteer 2 times a month?
Yep.
Are we going to volunteer at the same service so we can take the kid, or, having, refined conversations to kind of help navigate through some
Because
of that stuff.
in your life, if 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I would have went back in time.
Yeah.
And I'm standing in front of Johnny Gilman.
Yeah.
And I'd say, bro, in 10 years, how long you been married?
9.
Bro, in 10 years, you're going to be married with a kid. You're going to be serving on staff at one of the largest Church of Gods in the state. Multiple campuses. You're going to be an overseer of some of them. You're going to be traveling the world, preaching the gospel, and all of the other things. You would have said what?
Yeah. That's
the greatest day of my life.
yeah, like it's not something you write up, you don't see that. You don't see that in yourself, which totally I was talking to Christy, about some of that stuff is like you don't see any of that stuff in yourself. Like, even though you might have a dream, or like you may say, man, it would be, awesome to have 1,500 people at there's this, I don't know if it's humility or just unbelief or insecurity or whatever it is that says, there's no way that's going to be me. Like, for my story, it was like I was looking at all the other guys saying they're getting full-time ministry positions at these churches, and they're my age or younger, and they're over here, complaining about, packages. And I'm like, someone just, I just want an opportunity. So like for 10 years ago, for me to say, I'm going to be flying out twice a month, leaving Chicago at, 9, 10 at night, getting home late.
With a sweaty collar, or maybe you changed your shirt after having preached the gospel.
I'm changing in the parking lot, putting my airport shoes.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd have airport shoes, but I have airport shoes.
Easy to slip on, slip out for a TSA.
And I've learned not to take my belt off, even though TSA say it's recommended. I don't do it. So, because I've been to the airport enough now where they don't check. I've never been to the airport that much. For me to know that's crazy. So, you never think like you're going to be living that stuff out. So
you're living inside of seasons that were dreams, and yet we still struggle to be thankful for them.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Like it's the stress that clouds that clouds those things. So I don't know, the right answer for it, but I think for me, it was 35,000 feet gives you some perspective, after you're done, you finish, you check off your stuff that you're doing, and you're able to just quiet down. And for me, getting ready for the week, you're saying, man, just flew out, flew back, and you're doing these things.
Yeah, I preached on this a few weeks ago, and I just think how many times in our lives, people watching this, how many times that they are living in seasons that they prayed for, married to spouses that they begged God for, have kids that they cried and asked God to bring into the world, have jobs that they, laid in bed at night thinking, God, if you would ever give me that chance, I'll be the greatest boss or foreman or whatever in the world. Stayed up too late last night. But having those things in your life and yet still struggling in seasons to be thankful for what God has done for you. Like, it's hard for me to look at your kid and not, like, have this overwhelming sense of thanksgiving. I like him. He's cool. He's a cool kid. Cool kid, man. Sure. He loves me to death. I love that about him. It's probably my favorite part about him. But the part about him that just, when I see him, there's a sense of thanksgiving. When I see Josh Epps' daughter, Abby, whenever I see her, it's like, wow, God, you're a miracle-working God. And in my life, I think maybe all of our lives, maybe everybody, who you're struggling maybe in this season with Thanksgiving. You're entering it, I'm sure you've seen the, countdown to Thanksgiving, day 20. Here goes what I'm thankful for. Day, whatever. But I mean, I just wish that was like our life. Like, that's how we lived every day. I used to be thankful for, or the people around me, we would sing worship songs or pray prayers of, God, thank you for breath in our lungs, food on our table. Thank you for a roof over my head. Thank you for transportation, get me from point A to point B. Now it's like all of those things are expected. Because they're expected, we've come to a place to where we're no longer thankful for food on our table or breath in our lungs. Man, when I almost died with COVID, I couldn't breathe, and I was trying my best to get breath in me. Yeah. I was thankful for breath in my lungs. How often we don't stop and just say, God, thank you for, there's so much comparison in life. God, I'm angry that you didn't give me his car. God, I'm angry that I don't have a steak for dinner tonight. God, I'm just mad that I don't have the house in the neighborhood that I wanted, the house with the land. You're big. I want a house with land that I can hunt and fish and hide from people if I want to. And God, instead of, God, thank you for what you've given me, it turns into, God, I'm so frustrated that you didn't give me more.
Right.
It's wild, ain't it?
It's like how happy would you be if you lived on an island with what you had now, and never knew that anybody else had something
You'd be
else.
so happy.
Yeah.
You'd be so happy.
Yeah.
They should do that. That should be a TV show, reality TV show.
We gave you this. They give them.
Yeah. You're living on an island. Put them out there now and record it for the next 10 years. See how long it takes them to be ungrateful.
Like, what you call it? I'm trying to think of Jim Carrey.
Truman Show?
Yeah, the Truman Show.
Truman Show. Maddie said when she watched that show, it freaked her out because she thought to herself, what if I'm in the Truman Show?
Just start running around.
What if I am actually inside of this? And Carson's like, girl, that's stupid. You ain't inside no Truman Show.
I mean, you're in.
Carson ain't never even seen that.
True. Probably hasn't.
Yeah. It could be. But
What's your like, so we're going into Thanksgiving. What's your favorite side for Thanksgiving?
Favorite side? What a question. I think my favorite side, it has to be cooked well. Like, we're not talking about like, if it's cooked well, collard greens.
Okay. Who cooks it well? Like something that you eat. Like, what's your grandma's collard greens or like
Yeah.
your grandma's collard greens?
Mama Rachel's collard greens.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Simply Southern has some great collard greens.
Yeah, I mix them with my mac and cheese. They're very good.
Let me tell you who has the best collard greens to me. They're a little bit vinegary, but Paula Dean's. Her collard greens are amazing.
But I feel like they have to have vinegar. I'm a vinegar guy.
I'm a vinegar guy as well, so I love them. But people who taste them, they're like, ugh, a little vinegary for me.
Yeah, they're not from the South then.
Yeah. What about you, Caleb? Favorite Thanksgiving side?
I'm a carbohydrate guy. I love a good biscuit or a roll or some cornbread on
Interesting.
Thanksgiving.
I never even thought about that one.
I was I think it was last Thanksgiving, I was just introduced to sweet potato casserole.
I love sweet potato casserole. I love mashed potatoes. I would almost say mashed potatoes. What? Those of you watching, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side? Obviously, I had turkey. I love the mashed potatoes and gravy. Maddie's mom makes some great mashed potatoes and gravy. Cranberry sauce.
Never had it.
It's all we've ever done is just open up the can and poured it out, sliced it up. I think it's delicious.
That's right there with deviled eggs.
Dressing, we have innards and outers. So the outers, I like that a little bit. I think one of them's called dressing and one of them's called stuffing. If you stuff it, it's stuffing. If you put it on the outside, it's dressing. I ain't sure, but anyways, that's okay. Sure. That's just
as long as it doesn't have onions in it.
Mac and cheese done well, it is ranked really high on my list.
That's why I didn't say it, but I was also thinking about the millions of people who don't have good mac and cheese.
Yeah, you feel bad for them. Yeah.
It's like, why did I get this?
Same. Like I got to shove this down because I don't want them to feel bad.
Mac and cheese should be number one.
There should
be no other side that's better than mac and cheese. But because we've had so many bad mac and cheeses, or just not bad, just average, then everything else kind of just supersedes it because it's the common thing.
I'm going to go with, unfortunately, not my favorite side ever. Not my favorite side of any meal. If you say in any meal, it would be like number 9 down on the list. But sheerly for Thanksgiving, because we only do a few sides, I'm going to have to go mashed potatoes and gravy.
Yeah. I mean, it's basic, but
because you could take the turkey and dip it in the gravy.
You're big on that stuff, though. You're big on...
Okay, the screen just flashed again.
You're big on dipping your stuff in mashed potatoes.
You could make an argument that gravy is the top.
Gravy just by itself.
Yeah. Gravy.
You could pour it on your biscuit that you like.
You can dip your turkey.
You could dip your turkey in it. You can put it on that mashed taters.
Go on rice if you're a rice.
If your mac and cheese is terrible, you just pour gravy over and eat it.
If it's dry because it ain't got no cheese in it. Yeah, you could do that. I'd give that to you maybe. I like black eyed peas and rice.
I don't like black eyed peas.
Mama Rachel.
We don't do black eyed peas and rice. We did that for New Year's.
Fried cornbread.
New Year's Eve.
My grandma. Whoa.
I just
turned it off.
It just flashed off.
Oh, I thought the show was over.
Party's over. Shut it down. I'm hunting for someone, y'all.
Like
he's a lion, thief, and rattlesnake, and he's broken every law.
That's Carmen.
He's terrorized the lives of men, and he's under arrest because I've been sent with a warrant from the body of Christ.
Better stop. We're going to
tell him what it says.
We're going to copyright it.
Satan,
get us for the copyright.
Bite the dust. Y'all need to go watch that. Caleb, drop that link here in the comment section. Satan, Bite the Dust by Carmen.
It's a shame this show will never be seen because of you singing that song.
You have been kicked off of YouTube for
3 months.
3 months.
We lose our publishing rights.
We get 3 channel strikes because Dad's sung a Carmen song. That'd be awful.
You know, what was popular whenever you were a kid?
Like in that realm?
Yeah, like Christian pop music or Christian hit music.
I was a big Skillet guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna do a vote right here. Skillet. Caleb's gonna drop a Skillet video. What's your favorite song from Skillet? Skillet's still out right now.
Yeah,
they just did something with
just did something with
like Chris Tomlin.
Yeah, your boy.
Torn Wells.
Christy didn't believe me because I think I was sick that day. When he had a concert here, it was him and old boy with Danny Goki.
Danny Goki, yep.
I walked through the hallway. You know, I was just getting some stuff or whatever, and Danny Goki was right there, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Okay, cool." Then I saw Torrin Wells. I was like, "What's up, dude? How you doing?" And then walked out. Torrin Wells was there. And we just had like a quick conversation. I went home, and Christy was like, I told Christy, I was like, I hung out with Torrin Wells and Danny Goki. She's like, "You did not." I was like, "Yeah." Anyways,
Skillet with Torrin Wells.
I think Hero.
Hero. Okay, so Caleb's gonna drop Hero and he's gonna drop Satan Bite the Dust down below. Okay. Need you to vote.
Yeah.
Thumbs up on. Can't they thumbs up the comment section?
Thumbs up and heart. So.
Thumbs up in the comment section. No, in the comment section of YouTube. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thumbs up whichever one you like better. Okay.
Yeah. That it's a different.
No, it's not. It's not different.
I think so.
It's not different.
I would have said like
It's the same
Hillsong.
thing. No, it's not different. It's the same thing.
Okay, we'll go with it.
All right.
Fine.
Vote. Let's see which one you like
Vote
better.
Skillet, everybody. Hero.
Hey, love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with us a little bit. Be thankful, man. Be thankful. God has done so much for your life. Be thankful for what God is doing, for what he has done. You have so much to be thankful for. So, love you guys. Peace out. Let's go.
Peace.